quick floof of the hair, quick slurp of the coffee. So good morning and or welcome back to our little sunny farm here in Cornwall. So today is actually my birthday. Today that I'm filming this, not today that you're watching this. So I couldn't think of anything I'd rather do on my birthday than film you guys a little farm tour. So that's what we're gonna do. So July on the farm has been really productive. We've had a ton of potatoes, the best potatoes I have ever grown. I'm really pleased with them. We have had blight. You'll see that we've had to take all the greens down now because once blight gets in, the rot, the badness travels down through the greenery, down through the stem and then down into the tubers. So Johnny went through with a strimmer and just completely took all the tops off. Those potatoes are now held underground and they can sit there for months. If we leave them in, then obviously next spring they'll start sprouting and growing a new potato plant, but we can just go out there throughout the winter for as long as they're there and just dig up potatoes when we need them. They won't rot or go mushy underground so long as we got to the blight in time, which I think we did. So far, they're all looking really good, the ones that we've dug up. So I'm just going to finish my coffee and then we shall go and have a little wander around and see what we can find. Okay, here is the jungle. Doesn't it look different just in the last month? So these squash plants down here, these are spaghetti squash, I believe. They're my favourite winter squash to grow, and that's why I put them on the edge here so that I don't miss any plants. And if you're wondering why I have these stakes in here, when I plant a squash plant, whether it's a summer squash like a courgette or zucchini or a winter squash like these guys or pumpkins or butternut squash, wherever I put the plant, like actually bury the plant in the ground, I put a stake because, as you can see, if I didn't have those stakes in, I wouldn't have a clue where to water. And so rather than watering the whole of this area, I can just direct the water to where the stakes are and I know that that plant is getting enough water. These are all sweet corn, and again on this side, and you have to grow sweet corn quite close together because each plant gets pollinated by its neighbours, so you kind of have to really squash them in and then cross your fingers. If they don't get pollinated, you don't get any sweet corn, so it's kind of important. Now, as you can see, this mass of orange flowers, this is nasturtium. This I haven't planted, so in theory this is a weed. However, nasturtium is delicious. You can eat the flower, you can eat the leaf, and when it goes to seed, you can even eat the seed pods. So it's a really beneficial plant. I don't know if you can hear the bees, but the bees love this plant. And I planted nasturtium a couple of years ago up the top there. It's an annual plant, so every year it will die back, but it self-seeds. So every year, as the flowers die, the seed grows, and then the seed drops in the ground. And next year, you don't have to even think about it. You're going to have you're going to have nasturtium plants back in. So it's a brilliant plant. Not only do the bees love it, not only is it edible, but as you can see, it just sprawls. No weed can get through that. It's really, really useful. This is a parsley plant that's gone to seed. We've got some lettuce hiding in here. We've been eating a lot of this. It's been amazing. There's the start of our baby sweet corn plants. Probably another month or 6 weeks off actually having sweet corn to eat. There's another in there which is a little bit bigger. And I've got squash. You can see the stick here. I've got squash growing in amongst the sweet corn as well. Coming on to my peas. I have a lot to pick today. Oh my goodness. So this is actually a Monge 2 plant. So if anyone doesn't know what Monge 2 is, that's a Monge 2, or sugar snap pea I think is another name for it. I'm not entirely keen on the Monge 2 from this plant. What I've discovered is that I prefer the flavour of the pea, so I'm actually just letting these all go to pea now. So as you can see, I have got quite a few peas to pick today, and I'm just picking them all and podding them all and then freezing them. So over here opposite the peas, if you watched the Quarantine Diaries, you may have seen that these were my mum's plants. We can't remember if they're chickpeas or if they are lentils. She planted seeds for both this year, but that is the pod. So I'm guessing, I've never grown either, and I haven't bothered to Google what the leaves of each plant look like. They're quite squishy. Let's open one up and see what's inside. So inside is a very immature little pea or bean of some description. So like I say, it's either chickpea or lentil. So I'm quite excited to see where this plant takes us. Hi, pretty girl. Got some Swiss chard in there, which hasn't really taken off this year. Not that that's a problem, because we have a mass that I'll be showing you in just a moment. Probably lack of water. I got a bit lazy with the watering because we were getting kind of damp days and I just got lazy, so my fault. What I probably need to do is come in here and clear some of the weeds around there, because obviously they're taking nutrients and water from the ground as well, and then those can blossom. The artichokes, we're just letting the artichokes all go to flower now. The bees absolutely love them. And they're such interesting plants. Again, if you saw, I think was it last month's farm tour video, we're kind of, none of us are enamoured with cooking and eating artichokes, so to be honest, I think we're all happy that the bees have them. More nasturtiums and definitely more weeds. This here is our perpetual spinach, which has gone to seed. Again, that needs hacking back. That needs hacking back every, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. It's a very, very happy plant. And then from our peas over on this side, we've got some beans that are just being strangled by weed cover. We got some cabbage in here, which is doing really well. I think I didn't put these on. I think these were put on to protect them from rabbits invading, but as you can see, they can come off now. These plants are very, very happy. They are looking lovely, and I love this greenery. This is a really nice green. Unlike that Swiss chard, I am still not loving the Swiss chard, but I have discovered something very, very interesting to do with Swiss chard. Let me show you. So I just pick a couple of those off and a couple of those off. Let me show you the best use I have found for Swiss chard so far. Oh my goodness, the chickens love it. They will eat all of that greenery. It'll all be gone within like 10 minutes, right down to the stem. So I'm happy to keep growing Swiss chard if it's going to amuse my chickens so much. That works for me. But yeah, I'm still not finding a way of cooking it that I really enjoy eating. So I'm eating this greenery, kind of avoiding that greenery. And then if you remember in the Quarantine Diaries, my tiny little herb garden is now a jungle too. And now the weather in Cornwall hasn't been that great for the last few weeks. And we've had the odd nice day, but unfortunately on those nice days I just want to play. I don't want to weed or garden. So there are a lot of weeds in here. I've been really, really lazy. But the nice thing is that a lot of these weeds are really, really, really beneficial to have in the garden. So I'm not actually at all stressed about it. These are my red onions that I planted during the quarantine diaries. They're looking really lovely. Chives are looking good again. I've hacked this chive plant back once so far this year, and I'll probably do it again. Such pretty flowers. These are cornflowers. Again, these have self-seeded too. So I planted cornflowers in this little area 2 or 3 years ago. They're annuals, they die back, and then they just self-seed everywhere. And the bees, again, absolutely love them. More nasturtiums. The fennel in here will soon be going to seed, which is lovely. I've never used fennel before. I don't like the taste of it. I'm not a licoricey aniseedy person. I don't like the flavour. However, I have started drinking fennel in tea because it's good for so many things. Oh, look at that little bumblebee. Look at that little bee and how much pollen there is. Oh, it's so cute. Ain't pretty. So even though I didn't plant these, as you can see, the bees are going mad for it. This is borage. Again, this was also self-seeded from a plant, again, 2 or 3 years ago I put in here. Again, it's an annual, it dies back but self-seeds. Now probably about 6 weeks or so ago, I put some lavender plants in here. There's 3 in here on the edge. They are getting a little bit strangled by all these lovely weeds, but they're fine. Again, the bees are still finding them. They're still happy and growing. It's just I can't really see them so well, but that's okay. Over the back is that campion, which has been there since the spring. That is definitely classed as a weed. I don't mind it being there. The bees love that too. So this side has just turned into a little wild nature reserve. I love it. It's so, so pretty. Down here is a little bowl with water in, so whenever I am watering, I always make sure that's topped up. In the back down there is a broken pot on its side, which we have as a little toad hall, so if a little toad would like to live in there, it's more than welcome. This is our lemon balm. I've been picking a ton of this year and drying it and popping that in the teapot too. That's been really lovely, and I've really enjoyed learning to enjoy tea again. I've been making a lot of herbal teas. I've been studying herbs this summer actually, which has been really nice, and yeah, that's really good fun. There's the mint, which just is bomb-proof mint, isn't it? And again, I've had to put that in a pot because if anyone has ever planted mint in a garden and lived to regret it, that is why. It just, once you get the root in your garden, you'll never get rid of it. Tomato plants are doing well, and I do see some tomatoes that are blushing. Well, not only blushing, but I think that is actually ready to pick. This, my friends, is the first tomato I have picked this year. What a beauty, and Johnny is going to be delighted. He does love a big meaty tomato like that with his fry up, so that's really going to be lovely this weekend. And they're really good looking fruit. Beautiful. There's no label in here, and unfortunately I don't remember the names of the plants that we put in this year. Hopefully we've got it written down somewhere. And I see that there is another one in there ready to go as well. Ah, beautiful. So I reckon there's a tomato and sea salt sandwich there for me today, and Johnny can have one of those with his fry up this weekend. Pretty little flowers on the tomato plant, they're lovely. Now over the back here in the corner, oh, tiny little garlic. It's definitely ready to pull. And I think there's another one here. Oh, I might have to dig that one up. Oh yes. Wow, look at that. That's a beauty. So that's the last of my garlic, and this is the first year that I've successfully grown garlic, so that makes me very, very happy. And I will definitely be planting more in here next year for sure. Good stuff. Well, that's not a bad start to our little forage. Oh, we got some chili peppers in here as well. Let me quickly show you those. This is a little chili pepper plant that overwintered last year. Most often they die during the winter, even in a polytunnel. But this one survived, and there's loads of fruit on here. So I'm excited to try these because I can't actually remember what they were like. Okay, I think for the next job I need to pick these peas and get these inside. Now, sometimes when you go picking, you obviously are going to miss some peas. Now, this one is going to be not very pleasant. So these peas are looking very pale, and they're probably going to be quite woody and really not very tasty. So with these ones, what I like to do, wow, it is getting hot. Okay, in behind that fence is the potato patch, and in this little bed in front, I don't know if you remember, but I planted some courgettes, possibly during the quarantine diaries. We've had a self-seeded borage take over this corner, although there is, hiding down there, there is a little courgette or zucchini plant. Again, I really need to do some weeding around that because that one's losing a lot of its moisture to the weeds. I don't mind the borage having it because borage is beautiful and very, very bee happy. So we've got one courgette there. I planted another one here and another one here. Those both died, but I have 3 here that have survived. And I've so far had 2 courgettes in total, but I see there's some more to pick down there. So let me grab those as well. Just the 2. Okay, so now the potato patch. Please forgive the weeds. Like I said, I've been really lazy on the weeding front. However, the potatoes have been superb. So all of this dirt here is where we've dug potatoes up already. They're massive, they're beautiful, really good flavour, really, really pleased with them. Okay, forgive me, I've had to come inside. It's got so hot out there, and yeah, I'm sorry, I'm sweating and I've got really big hair. Okay, so I'm just going to neck some water. It's 11:15, so it's only going to get hotter for the next little while. So I think what I might do is just gently skive. and sit and pod those peas. I'm also going to dehydrate those nasturtium leaves. I might not have enough to fill the dehydrator, so I might have to shoot out and grab another couple of handfuls. I've never dehydrated nasturtium leaves or flowers before. I want to do 6 trays of the leaves today, and then I'm going to just crumble them up into a powder, because nasturtium leaves and flowers, both edible, both fine to eat and tasty, and they taste really peppery. And I'm thinking that as a seasoning, just having some like ground nasturtium leaves on a meal would be interesting. So I'm going to give it a go, and I shall let you know how it goes. In fact, if it works well and if we end up loving it, then no doubt I'll do a whole video just on that. Right, let me neck this water and try and rehydrate. Okay, so me and the crazy hair have laid out all those trays of nasturtium leaves. So I'm going to go and whack them in the dehydrator. If you don't hear any more about this project, then just trust that it was crap and not worth the effort. If, however, there's a video like in 97 seconds time showing you how to dehydrate nasturtium leaves and why you'd want to, then you'll know it was a rip-roaring success. Okay, now I have that enviable task of sitting here, putting on Netflix and podding peas. And I know, I'm almost jealous of myself, because that is my favourite chore of the entire summer. I love podding peas. And this is the first time I have ever grown enough peas from my plants that I've had enough to freeze, because normally peas don't even leave the allotment. I just stand out there and I scoff them straight from the pod in my bare feet in the dirt. But this year we've just had so many. And look, this is my stash so far. These are from the freezer, and we have been eating these. So there's probably, in total, I've probably had double that so far this year. So I am feeling like a pea queen this year. A pea and garlic queen. I'm very, very happy. It's nice when simple things make you happy, don't you think? So I'm now going to switch you guys off, and I'm going to switch Netflix on, and you can't complain because it's my birthday. So what are you going to do? My first homegrown tomato of the year, and it tastes blinking lovely. All right, now that noisy oik has gone back to work, we need to go, I need to go and pick some plums, because I found that the plums this morning were ripe. Some of them I've actually missed and they've rotted on the tree, which makes me very sad, because we don't get very many plums off that tree anymore. It's quite old. So let's go and do that. Also, you may have noticed that in last month's farm tour, there were baby lambs here. So unfortunately, we had them here for maybe 4 or possibly 5 weeks, but unfortunately they had to go back to the farmer because we couldn't keep the little beggars contained. They saw fencing as a really fun toy to escape from, and I just was spending my time chasing lambs and it was getting really annoying. So unfortunately, they've had to leave us far, far, far earlier than expected. And I'm really sad about it because I loved those little things. Right, let's go pick plums. There's some. Isn't that beautiful? Alright, so that wasn't a great haul, I'll be honest. But that plum tree is really old now, and fruit trees don't live forever, and we have been talking that we need to get a new plum tree in just in case, because at some point we're going to lose that one. So I've only got 6 fruit here. This one isn't quite ripe enough to eat, but it fell off the tree, so I brought that in. It will ripen up on the windowsill. We've got ones that are split, and also that have got holes in them. Now, if you've never picked a plum from a plum tree, it's worth knowing that we're not the only ones that really like eating them. And very often you'll find these holes, and very, very often you'll find wasps inside. Now, if you're seeing that beautiful ripe plum hanging on a tree and you just put your hand around it to pick it and there's a wasp inside that hole, then my friends, you're going to know about it. So my recommendation is always be very, very careful when you're picking any of these sweet stone fruits, because the wasps really do love them. So all I'm going to do is cut that bit out, and the rest of the flesh will be fine to eat. There's not enough plums here, unfortunately, to cook with. So I'll give the nicest looking ones like that, that and that. I'll give them to Mum. And then I'll have these ones that are underripe and that have wasp holes in, because I'm a good daughter. I also picked an apple. This is my first apple of the year. I don't expect it to be ripe, but it was a really good size. It is looking very bright green on that side, which makes me think it's not going to be ripe, but it's worth a try, huh? I wanted to see if it is ripe. My mouth is watering and I'm a little bit scared, because if this isn't ripe, it's going to be really sour. I'm really sour. I can't eat that. Oh, it tastes like a cooking apple. I don't feel bad that I've wasted that apple, but it's worth trying every week or two, because at some point you're going to go, oh yeah, they're ready, and that's an exciting day. All right, I imagine I'll get lynched if I don't take you guys to see the chickens while we're doing a farm tour, so let me go and grab their sweeties and I'll see you over there. Hello, sweet girls. Who likes the sweeties? Well, it's been a while since I brought you guys in here for a bit of poo picking. They are so noisy. All right, so I'm just going to do a quick poo pick. There's not actually much to do in here. I had a good old tidy up yesterday. Now, last month's farm tour, I know that I shot this bit of footage, but I'm not sure that I actually kept it into the final video. But let me introduce you to my little broody hen. Now, bless her little cotton socks. She has been broody for, I'm guessing, over a month now. And obviously we don't have a cockerel, so she's not sitting on fertile eggs. I'm collecting the eggs from her every day, and I keep pulling her off the nest very gently, of course, but basically a chicken, if she's not actually going to hatch any babies, then she's just going to lose condition from sitting on empty nest. So yes, we need to get her off of there, and I need to try and unbroody her. She's so sweet. Hi. What's under here? Can I have a look? So this won't be her egg, because when they go broody, they stop laying, because obviously by that point they should have filled their nest with fertile eggs, and then she'll just sit on them for about 20-25 days until they hatch. So one of the other hens is getting in every day and laying an egg, and I've never seen another hen in there, so it would be quite interesting. I don't know if this one leaves the nest to let the other one in to lay, or if she clambers in there with her. I don't know. You're not happy, are you, girl? I'm sorry. So there are things you can do to unbroody a hen. I just haven't really had the heart to, which is a bit mean really, because I really should do. Okay, there's 2 eggs from the nest boxes, but the girls are also laying in this dust bath. Is that it? Yeah. So there we go, 5 eggs today, that's nice. Right, lovelies, that is me done for today. I'm now going to go and put my feet up and stuff my face with birthday cake. I hope you enjoyed this lovely, lazy, sunny day on the farm. I really have. It's been great fun. This weekend, Johnny and I are going away in his van. We're going to go and camp at some woodland that we know the owners of. So that's going to be exciting, and I'm planning to record next Friday's video this weekend, so it will be camping / food related. No clue what just yet, so make sure you tune in for that one. Until then, keep smiling, stay safe, and happy camping. Mwah!